Welcome to the third edition of the Leewoodie podcast, summer 2018 edition. Joe D'Aloisio, Joltin Joe, joined once again, as always, with the commissioner of the league, Silvio DiSalvatore. Sil, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Fleeky Friday, as always.
Last Fleeky Friday of June.
Last freaky,
right? Still June? Yep,
yeah,
it is.
Last Fleeky Friday of June. We are heading into the summer months. It is getting hotter out, and Leewood is heating up as well. Now, we're off this weekend, but the competition is heating up.
I think it's been heating up more than ever. Let's go top headlines, Joe. Bogo's 5-1. They had a big win the other night due to Chad Tom Mahoney, 24-13. Bogo's now 5-1. They could clinch a winning record next week. Yorktown's absolutely falling apart. They lost 2 games in a row. And they weren't even close, Joe, to be honest with you. I mean, one of them had to be the Tim McCauley. He picked up some MVP votes after that game.
Oh, without a doubt.
He was utterly dominant for 40 minutes. He played all 40 minutes, didn't throw up on the court like he did last year.
Impressive.
They couldn't stop him. And the role players around him, Parrish, Jerry, Tyler, they all did their role at the end of the game to knock down free throws. They hit 9 free throws in a row at the end of the game, Joe. They did a great job to seal that victory.
That's how you close out games. You got to hit those free throws. This is a team that is not very well known in the A, but a win like that gets them certainly on the map. And when you got a player like McCauley, I mean, he could definitely lead this team deep into the playoffs.
Oh, it's not like a one-man show, but it kind of, he's got role players around him, and Tim just does whatever he wants. And he didn't even take ridiculous shots. They couldn't stop him inside the paint. He's so strong for his size. It's remarkable because Yorktown, going in there, we're like, this, could be close, but Yorktown will probably end up with the victory. It wasn't. It was just a complete upset. Tim McCauley, great job. Trees and threes. They were shooting a lot of threes, and I'm sure they were doing a lot of trees after the game.
Yeah, and that's warranted after the way they played. So well deserved if that's what they partaked in after the game. But let me tell you something. Yorktown. I'm concerned.
Me too.
I'm concerned. I've watched Yorktown from the beginning of the season, and I said, wow, unanimously, this team, let's put them in the semifinals automatically. I watched Yorktown last week, and I'm worried. This roster right now is in flux. I see a lot of frustration. Jordan Moody in the last game pulling up a little banged up with the hamstring injury.
It looks like a grade 2 hamstring pull. So
yeah.
A little concerned about that.
A little concerned. He didn't come out of the game though. I mean, he kind of tried to play like the MJ flu game, but he didn't come out. But I'm worried. I don't think they have a good rotation right now. A little miscommunication about players coming on and off the court. It also resulted in our second ever Leewood trade.
Oh, yeah, and both by Yorktown, which is kind of crazy.
Exactly.
So they traded Chris Davis to the Bronx Hawks after Game 1, and now rumor is, who'd you hear rumor from, Chris Broussard or Adam Woj?
Actually, Stephen Bum Smith.
Oh, Stephen Bum Smith. So now rumor is that Chris Gillen is about to get traded to Pale and Frail, going from the A to the B division, and both captains agreed mutually. So we're just waiting for the final paperwork to come in. He's got to pass a physical, which he probably won't, but it looks like the trade's going to happen.
Yeah, and that's a great addition for Pale and Frail as they get a good
guard. They needed a good guard. They need another good guy that. Oh, excuse me.
You all right?
Yeah, sorry, I'm just choking. They need another good one to really get the offense going. Big Neek, or as Blake calls him, Bitch Neek, because they're playing each other soon. He's having a good year, but they need a guard to bring up the ball and really get their offense going. Yeah. Chris Gillen's I think Chris Gillen's perfect for Yorktown, but played 2 minutes, second half against trees and threes. He looked a little frustrated, but he was still being a team player, which you really respect out of Christopher Gillen.
I'm going to be honest. I thought Gillen was hurt in that game because of how long he sat. Yeah. And then when I found out that he was just sitting there.
Yeah, benched.
He was benched. I was a little surprised because this is a kid who's a little pesty guard. I'm going to be honest with you. He gets in your face, and he plays hard defense, and he runs up and down the court. A good addition for Pale and Frail, who definitely needed one after losing 2 of their ones, basically, in the offseason.
Now, I know we were talking about one more headline about Young Bucks being in complete turmoil right now after a bad loss against the Bronx Hawks, or Pigeons, but I want to give a shout-out to Toon Squad. This team, Joe, was brutal. They're now 3-3. They're John DeBetta, I think he's like, one of the older guys in the league. He's dominating. He's scoring. I think he's at 27 points per game now. Kevin Arias got Terrence there the last couple games. This is a completely different basketball team. And I got to give a shout out to Kevin because it looked like the Tides were like, oh, man, this team's going to go 0-10. Probably won't see them back. They've won 3 games in a row. They just beat a really good Pale and Frail team. They destroyed Minky at 1, who we're not even going to talk about them.
Yeah, they're not even worth our time right now. No,
so we got to give a shout out to Toon Squad. Keep up the good work. John Colantuno's been a nice role player for them, and we'll see what happens going forward.
That's the beauty of this league. I mean, here's a team that started off rough, and now at 3-3, you see them on your schedule, and you're like, oh crap, we're gonna have to play. It's not a gimme anymore.
No more gimmies.
So this team has finally put it all together, and they'll be a fun team to watch as we head towards playoff season. Now, we breezed through them. We just gave them a mention at the start of the podcast, but we got to go a little bit deeper into Bogo. 5-1. This team is special. Team, I think this team has serious potential, has B title written all over them, and Chad, I don't know who Tom is, Chad is the man.
He is the man. Good-looking guy. Not as good-looking as Dom, obviously, but he's up there. Maybe if he wins a championship, he might be, Joe.
Yeah, he will definitely be in the conversation as better looking than Dom if he wins a championship. But before that, we can't even put them in the same conversation right now.
No. I'm sorry, Chad.
Listen, Chad against the Bandits in their last game. My man had an N1, flexed on him. The ref told him, don't flex, and he still flexed. I mean, that's a power move.
That's what I like. And we're going to get to the officials later on because there's a lot of controversial calls going on in the last 2.5 weeks, especially by one particular ref. But we'll get to that at a later time. But I agree. I mean, Decker, he didn't score 27. He dropped his season average a little bit. Pete Gordon's been great. I heard Bobby Stack had a good game. But Chad's the difference maker. When Chad's playing well, Chad didn't have a great game against Big Baller Brand, and what happened?
They lost.
All right, there's the recipe.
And let me tell you something. I like this new brand of basketball that I'm seeing from Pete Gordon.
Me too. Pass.
And I'm used to seeing shoot. And now here's the kid. He's buying into Bogo. He's being the team player. And he's still got to develop into that new role that he has with Bogo, but I think it's working out for all parties right now.
Now, what I heard, Pete Gordon, a lot of credit, because like you said, he's a pass-first guy right now, and there's an Instagram video that he posted of where he actually looked off John Hickey, who was wide open, and took a 27-footer, but hit it. But I think then Pete realized, like, you know what? As good as a shooter I am, I could become a better passer, and I think that's what he's doing.
That's the difference between a good player and a great player. Realizing how to be better, how to be a better player, be a better teammate. That's what Pete Gordon's doing right now.
Much credit.
Much credit to Pete.
So I'll let you want to start talking about Young Bucks because this team is like they're in disarray right now, Joe.
You know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I'm tired of the Young Bucks. I'm tired of their act. I mean, everything we say on the podcast, everything we do for them, they always got to disrespect.
Yeah.
You know,
I feel like, you know how we treat Minkia? They treat us like Minkia.
Yeah.
And we don't deserve it.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
That's like the lowest of lows. Like, why do I want to be treated like Minkia?
Listen, bottom line, it's time to move on from Rowan. I mean, he's got to go. If this team wants any future, he's got to get out of there.
He's got to go.
He's the James Dolan of Leewood.
And I was thinking somebody different, but...
Who?
The Tony Panio of Fever.
Wow, I didn't even think of that because he's so irrelevant. I don't want to bring him up in the podcast anymore.
Now, it's funny because I heard Daly talking. I'm sorry, we're always getting thrown off into. That's partially my fault, but Daly talking before the game had a huge smile on his face. I don't know if he really knew that I was behind him, and he's like, looked at Pinto and was like, Tom, like you're doing a great job, buying free agents. Like Panio never wanted to do it, all conservative. That was it too. Tony's too busy saving for his wedding, and he didn't realize, like, he's got to put some funds into his team and getting good players around Daly. And I could see it. Daly's so happy. He's having a great time out there. And, we're getting down to this Panio, Tony Panio captain investigation.
Yeah, we're really breaking it down and discovering what really happened with Fever and Tony. And like I always say, I agree with Jack here. And good for Jack.
You got to agree with the best player.
And good for Jack for sticking up and saying and giving credit to Pinto. I mean, I've never seen this team happy.
That's a nice polo, dude.
You like it?
Yeah, Iona Prep Gales.
Iona Prep Gales. Did you
Did you go to Iona?
I didn't go to Iona.
I know.
Do you like it?
Yeah, I love it. I got to get one of those. Born to be a Gale.
But yeah, Panio gone. Pinto in. The guy's been phenomenal. So credit to them, and Fever continues to roll. So that's going to be a great team to continue to keep an eye out for. Obviously, they're top notch. But hey, speaking of Fever, speaking of Pinto, Fangaz will join us next. Stay tuned. We got a bunch of other interviews coming for the Leewoodie podcast. Joining us once again, 2 weeks in a row, a very special guest, the new GM, the better GM, the new leader of the Eastchester Fever, Thomas Pinto Fangaz. Fangaz, happy Fleeky Friday. How are you?
I'm very good. Joe, you would actually be happy to know that I'm currently doing this interview from your elementary alma mater of Ann Hutch.
Is that right? What are you doing over there, big guy?
Working camp, and they got a magic show going on right now, but I thought I'd put my time to some better use.
Oh, you know what? We love the dedication, and we appreciate you stepping away from the magician and making some magic happen on the Leewoodie podcast, Fangaz. I appreciate that. So let's get right down to business. All right, let's get right down to business. The big man, your big man is gone.
Mm-hmm.
How worried are you?
That's a good question.
That didn't sound convincing for anybody listening right there. You could tell Fever's worried.
Well,
they're worried here.
I said last week that there's no replacing Folger, and because we don't have anything even close to his talent level, the size and everything that he can do. So I wouldn't say worried is the right word. I think we're just a little more all hands on deck, if that's a good way to put it. Everybody's got to do a little bit more, and I think our game on Wednesday was a really good example of that. Boz has been on absolute fire the last couple of games.
23 points last week.
Yeah. Jack's orchestrating the offense. Joe had his hands full with Slim, but he did a great job defensively on him.
Easy Street's pretty good this year, right? Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
I don't think they're no slouch anymore. They used to be, and David knows that. They didn't play defense.
They had a really good run in the second half, and it was a 2-point game with under a minute. So I'm not going to say worried. I'm just going to say that everybody just has to do a little bit more, and I think that we did that on Wednesday and led to another win.
And funny you say that because I'm just looking at Daly's numbers, and he came, I think, 2 assists short of a triple-double.
Right.
And, like you said, next one up, Daly kind of, not to say he's been in cruise control for the year because he's seen all the players around him where he's like, I don't really have to take over yet until my number's called. And that's what I love about Jack. He's getting everyone else involved. The chemistry's at one of the best I've ever seen in Fever. And then, just like you said, when push comes to shove, you get a little worried. Daly has 20, 10, and 8, and it's a great stat line. Probably one of the better stat lines we've had all year, and there's nothing less than I would expect from Jack, and it was funny because right before we called you, we were talking about how happy Jack is. He said he's having a great year. I don't know if he knew I was behind him before your game, but he's so happy that you took over because he knew Tony wouldn't spend all this money in free agency, going the extra yard, Tom. And I know he kind of knew that I was in the back, but he didn't know I was actually listening and eavesdropping. But, he's thrilled with the job that you're doing. And, a little shot to Panio, shots fired continued. But, Tom, great work. And I want you to talk about Boz because this kid, man, the last 3 games, he's hitting 5-6 threes a game.
Mm-hmm. He's a competitor out there, right? This guy loves to get up in your face. He loves a challenge. He loves competition. And not everybody loves the back and forth competition sometimes, but he's just a gamer. He's just a gamer. He's a gym rat, and man, it took him a couple of games to find his stroke, but he has really been shooting the ball well the last couple of games. And When he gets on a roll, he is lethal. He is absolutely lethal. Loves to play with his teammates, and with Folger gone, we're going to need a little bit more offense from him, and he has definitely delivered it in the last 2 games. Really fun player to play with, great teammate, and brings a lot to our team.
Fangaz, I got a little bit of a follow-up there about Boz, the talented guard that you were just talking about. And you mentioned he's a competitor, he's a gym rat. I've noticed from the sidelines quite a bit that competitiveness come out often, getting in the faces of opponents. Are you concerned? Have you had to tell him to take a deep breath here or there at any time so far this season?
Joe, he hasn't been hit with any technical fouls yet, so...
Yeah, I'm surprised. You got to be honest. You should be surprised about that, too.
I don't know. I think that sometimes it can go back and forth with him and another player. So if it's kind of on the same level, then I wouldn't say I'm so surprised. But he hasn't hurt us with his play. He hasn't hurt us with whatever he might have said to another player, if that's what he has to do to get himself motivated. And I just think that his energy is contagious. And when he's out there battling and, doing what he does, it makes the rest of us want to play even harder. So I don't think it's a concern. As I said, no technical fouls. If ever one happened for any of us at the point of the year, you just got to maybe cool off for a second. But
I agree.
I'm always more, and I guess anybody would be a fan of more energy than less energy, especially when it's going towards the right place. So, nothing where, and something too that people might forget sometimes is that he, and I see other players do it too, he always likes to have conversations with the refs. And, the refs like that, when you go up to them, talk to them in a respectful manner, not show them up. That's what he likes to do. And I think that sometimes can get overlooked. He's not obviously the only one that does it, but he does like to engage with the referees, talk about a call, in a respectful way. And you do that and you don't show them up, it's good for everyone.
So now, Tom, I got one more question for you. I'm looking at the schedule right now. Do you guys fear the most right now? And I'm sure you heard about with Tuesday night, that huge upset from Trees and Threes beating Yorktown. I think you guys match up really well with them. But this Tim McCauley kid is like, he's special. He's a special kind of player. And I know Jack always loves that matchup. So, but you got Young Bucks, who I wouldn't even be worried about. They're in turmoil. And then you got Manhattanville, and you have your makeup game. But so who do you really think will give you the best matchup? Because I really see you guys going 9-1. But you know what? Just like basketball, that's why it's so great. You guys could have a hiccup where shots just aren't falling. Boz is shooting like 2 of 10 from 3. Daly isn't foul trouble. Stuff like that could happen. But who do you think is going to give you guys the best matchup and that you're looking forward to in the future?
To be honest, sir, I'm looking forward to the matchup against you guys. I think it's going to be a really good game. I think that Brazzers has a ton of talent. I think they have really good team chemistry, and kind of like us, they really have guys who know how to play the game. They have good role players that, I think we're very similar in that sense, in that we have some guys that aren't going to play a ton of minutes, that could play more minutes on other teams, but they're good with that. And I think that's going to make for a really good, fun, well-played basketball game.
It is, I agree.
Really looking forward to playing you guys.
And Fangaz, that matchup is going to be a big matchup. It's going to have a lot of implications in terms of your seeding. Brazzers, hopefully, and I mean, not hopefully, they're going to make the playoffs, but making that push there. But you guys have a really tough matchup. How do you guard Brazzers' big man Christian?
Well, obviously with Folger out, that's going to make it a little bit harder, but we're going to lean on Joe. We're gonna lean on Joe a lot. He's playing a lot of minutes that game, as he does mostly every game. Maybe throw some doubles at him. Our rotations are going to have to be really, really good that day. We're going to have to be, moving with our feet and not with our hands. He's a really good player. In the winter, he took it to us, and the entire Brazzers team, that might have been the worst basketball performances I was ever a part of.
You're damn right it was.
we got outplayed played in every sense of the word. That guy's a player, and
yeah, he's really good.
And then you run the risk if you double, Brazos has shooters and throw it out to the corner, and you got Kenny and Hickey and a bunch of other guys that can knock down shots. So that's Joe's assignment. We're gonna give him some help, maybe throw a couple different looks, but that's gonna be a heck of a matchup, and I think the however you want to say it, the marquee matchup when we play Brazos is going to be those two guys going head to head.
Good luck.
Tom, just want to thank you for coming here again. We love to have you, and we continue to have you, hopefully, going forward. And, yeah, good luck. Have a good weekend. You guys are off. And I know Coach Joe's, watching some film on you guys, so hopefully we'll be prepared when we play you guys.
All right, guys. Sounds good.
Fangaz, enjoy the Magician. Have a great one.
Thanks, man. Take it easy.
Back to the guest line we go. Joltin Joe here alongside Silvio DiSalvatore, and we are joined by another very, very special.
I think this is the best one we've had.
Yeah, this could potentially break records for listening, but we are joined by former captain and former owner of Minchia Basketball, Anthony Belloise. Tony, how you doing?
What's going on, guys?
Anthony, I like your little ringer you had going.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah.
Still 2009 in my book.
Absolutely. I mean, we could tell by Minchia, how they're playing. It looks like 2009. But all right, let's go. We're gonna get right to it. So Minchia had a tough loss the other day against Shooters. You were absent yet again, and we just want to know what's going on in that locker room because we're not really getting many answers. There's a lot of questions to be answered, and the public really wants to know. Because, I was on your bandwagon for so long. I loved what you were doing. You were getting the team. They were really improving and whatnot. And then, Joltin Joe over here really gets down and dirty, and he finds a lot of evidence on that. The commitment's not really there, and, we just want to hear from you.
Well, Wednesdays I have prior engagements that I do with every Wednesday, so Wednesday games I'll have. Okay. But you got to remember, when Minchia first came into this league, we went 0-10. We were a bunch of kids 6 foot and shorter. One kid played organized basketball. And look, we made it to the playoffs last year, lost to the semifinals. We're doing that again. We got the A team, let them do what they do. B team, this time we have 2 kids who played organized basketball. Just trust the process. We'll be back.
Okay. Now, Joe, you want to ask him something?
Trust the process. First of all, I'm not even.
Of John Franco Perry.
Well, it's been John Franco Perry's got to take it easy on the sidelines. Him and the refs got in a little scuffle last game, but you weren't there to witness it, so that's a bad job on you. So, anyway, going back to the product on the court, do you think you guys are a better team this year and moving in the right direction?
The A division or the B division?
Both.
B division, I mean, there was no B division team last year, so all we can do is go up. And for the team that we have to already have a win under their belt is pretty impressive.
Yeah, I can attest to that.
And for the A division, I'd say that, they got a lot of great shooters. Arjan's a big pickup. Joe Fernandez is 2 boys that he picked up. They're great basketball players. Matt Belloise has finally realized that he's a big man and banging down low this year. I mean, the sky's the limit for them. They can do whatever they set their minds to.
I like the confidence. The confidence is good. That's half the battle. It's the mental part of the the game is there.
Yeah, and it's pretty impressive that you're that confident considering both teams suck, to be honest with you.
How many games have you played in this league?
Oh my God.
That's why I refuse to embarrass myself on the court.
That was good.
That's why that's why I host a podcast. I'm at every game. And I won't embarrass myself on the court. So that's why I don't play.
To anybody who wants to go out there and have fun and play basketball, whether they're good or not, they're playing a game that they love and having fun. That's fine by me.
Now, Anthony, I heard a rumor on the block that you guys are actually going to sign Joltin Joe next year.
No shot in that.
Well, that's not what new owner and team captain Perry said. So I'm just letting you know that.
Ooh, this is going to be good.
It's more of a publicity stunt. It's more like a going joke.
Oh, okay.
But, no.
No one laughed at that, so that's
All
a
right,
pretty terrible joke.
All right, boys. So we're gonna do this new thing. We like it. We call it the rant of Anthony Belloise, and we're gonna give you 1 minute. You could say whatever you want, and we're not gonna cut you off. We're not gonna stop you. We want to hear your frustrations on the commissioner, the league. I know the Facebook group. You've just had about enough, and we're gonna give you a minute. And we're going to start in 3 seconds and go off.
And I'm telling you right now, if you don't bring it and you're not good, I'm hanging up the phone because I have that ability. So bring it.
I'm ready whenever you guys are.
Go.
I'm just tired of how the commissioner and Mr. Joe Dirt decide to constantly bash Minka. Minka came from nothing. Minka lost a very close game to you guys last year in the semifinals, and now we're back trying to do it again. I think you guys disrespect us too much, and you don't give us enough credit that we deserve. We have a bunch of nobodies who win games, who have won a game now. Then we have a team that is just coming together who 3 kids have played together before. I call you guys Fox News because, Mink is fighting amongst each other. We don't fight. We're a great group of people. We love each other. We're a big family. So, if you guys want to use your false information that you think that you dig up from wherever you get your bullshit information from, sorry for the language, that's on you guys. But you know what? You guys can say whatever you want about us because we just laugh it off. And at the end of the day, we're still Minka, and that's all it's going to be.
All right, Anthony, thank you for that. Listen, Fox News at Facebook. We got a breaking news right now. LeBron James will become an unrestricted free agent. You heard it here first on the Leewoodie podcast. Nowhere else. Heard it right here. Don't even check your phone because I saw it first, all right? Belloise, thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being a special guest. We look forward to having you at a later time, hopefully around, right before the playoffs.
See you guys then.
Wow, he was a little frustrated, Joe.
Nah, screw him. Screw him. That's all I got to say. He's. You know what? I think he's league enemy number one. I think he surpassed.
I don't know. I think he's a little delusional. Both his teams are doing terrible. Like they're terrible.
He talks a big game for what do they have? 2 wins combined?
Yeah, but I like the energy, but that's really about it. I think he's like the fake news man, to be honest with you.
He just basically sold Minka and told all the listeners to watch out for this team, and neither of them are going to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
And okay, you know what? And he's doing a good job. He's supporting his team. He's not going to come out here and say, "Yeah, we suck."
Yeah. You're right. He's doing the right thing.
He's doing the right thing, but my man,
it's not like John Hickey would do that.
My man, that's not realistic. You're aiming for the sky, but you're not even near. You got no chance.
No.
You got no
way.
chance.
So, Belloise, thank you.
Special thanks to Belloise for coming on to the podcast, as always. And to all our guests for coming on to the podcast. So, we're off this weekend, but we'll be right back in action next week starting on
Thursday, July 5th. We have a couple pretty good games. Let me get the calendar off my phone. The referee's making it into our group chat, Joe.
Wonderful.
We got TMT versus Team Shine. That's going to be a good game.
That's going to be a great game.
Wow, both Minkias play back-to-back. So for all you 6 fans out there that root for Minkia, come out. You'll get a doubleheader. Oh, man, one of them is going to be a bloodbath.
Who are they playing?
Actually, both of them are. Hawks versus Minkia.
Jesus.
That's going to be a blowout. And then you have East Coast Panthers versus Minkia 2. That's another blowout.
I think the Pigeons could easily drop 85.
Oh, yeah, I know. 100%. If they actually play defense in the first half. But yeah, wow. So, dude, we're back in action next Thursday. We'll be here before you know it. Dude, this is always a pleasure, always a lot of fun. And we got one more. We got one more person coming on, or are we waiting for next week?
No, we're gonna have another person come on, but he's a little special, so we're gonna wait for him.
Okay, yeah, let's do that.
He is a member of Brazzers Nation. He is a key contributor to that team, and one of the main reasons why Brazzers either wins or lose, and that's because he needs to have a big game every single night. The man, the myth, the legend, Peter Cha-Cha joins us. Cha-Cha, how are you?
What a great introduction.
You like that?
I'm semi-chub.
Well, okay. I'm glad. I'm glad to hear that. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for asking.
All right, so once again, through the rumor mill, I found out that you have a lot to say, and you needed a forum to spill your heart out. So here you go, Chacha. The floor is yours.
I usually have a lot to say after a long week of Leewoodie basketball. But first, I want to say I better not be Jabroni of the week. Can we confirm this? Because last time I was on the call, I found out when it was posted that I was Jabroni of the week.
I can confirm that you are not the Jabroni of the week.
Okay, thank you. So first, I want to talk about Brazzers' potential first ever. Brazzers might be signing a girl for their team.
Wait a second. Before you go any further, when did this happen? And why wasn't why didn't anybody tell me about this? I'm the coach here.
We're a bit short-staffed, and we just might be signing a girl. That's all I can say at this time.
Oh, I need a little bit more details. Who is she?
You're the coach, not the general manager.
Well, I need to know where I could fit this young lady into our lineup.
We're just innovative team, and I think that's groundbreaking. That we potentially might be signing a girl.
Okay, what else you got for us?
Second, you bring up the cha-cha slide earlier this week, but side note, the electric slide, a lyric rumor is going around. But that's a different point, different time and place for that. Look that up, everybody. The meaning of the lyrics of the electric slide. But my main reason for calling in today is the referee rankings. This is a groundbreaking moment, the first referee rankings, because this week there was some shit going down. So I'm going to go from best to worst left. And I don't know any of their names, so I have, descriptions of them.
All right, so just go through them and just describe them. I'm not even going to jump in and say names. Just go out there.
Yeah, I don't know their names.
This is all you. First, description. Go.
Yeah. First, from best, I got to go Bald Mike. I think that's his name. Bald Mike is the best referee in the Leewood League. He's nice to all the players, makes all the right calls. And two, could have been one, is probably the biggest legend in Leewood history is Jeff the Ref. Jeff the Ref came out of retirement for this year's season. Then I have the black slick hair guy. No, black hair slick back, not black guy slick back hair. Then I have the older guy with the white hair who runs funny. And then I have everybody else. Then a can of soup. And then the guy Chris Brewster, whatever his name is. He's terrible. We had an instance where he told John Hickey that he was an asshole. And then Hickey, rightfully so, told him, stick the rule book up his ass. This guy whooped out a rule book to try to correct his call. It is a 5-second call in which a player switched. When a player switches on a 5-second call, the count resets. What an asshole. This guy told my friend, John Hickey, he called him an asshole.
That's not right.
Sir, John Hammer Hickey. Lucky he didn't hit him with the hammer.
He should have hit him with the hammer.
This guy, I'm requesting from league executives a 5-week suspension for this 5-second call and berating of players.
Now, would you rather have a can of soup out there rather than him?
Rather than have a can of soup. I have can of soup ranked above.
What kind of can of soup?
Campbell's.
Okay.
Campbell's of soup.
Okay.
Is that a still thing?
I think it is.
I'm a big lentil guy.
I could see that.
I don't know if it is, but those are my rankings. And canned soup above Chris Black Belt, Brewster, whatever his name is.
What else you got for us?
That's my rant.
That's your rant?
That's my rant. And I also
Oh, it looks like you're not done.
I'm not done. I also request that he be Jabroni of the Week. That he tried pulling out the rule book, and Hickey said, "Show me the rule," and then he was stunned. He couldn't show us the rule because it's not a fucking rule.
As per your request, Chris the ref, the black belt, whatever he is your Jabroni of the Week. Cha-Cha, thanks for coming on and breaking down how our officials are this season. Always love to have you on the podcast.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. I need to get this off my chest.
Oh, I'm so glad you did. I hope you enjoy your Fleeky Friday.
Thank you. Enjoy your summer.
Sil, as always, happy Fleeky Friday.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you for joining us, as always. Make sure to follow the Instagram, follow the Twitter.
At Leewood B-Ball. And then you got the Twitter, Leewood Basketball. And then Facebook, just from request Silvio DiSalvatore. Slide into my DMs, be like, hey, Kamish, I kind of want to get in that Facebook group and see all the stupid videos you put up and the cool podcast with Joltin Joe.
And if you,
then I'll add you.
Any teammates that aren't on Facebook, try to get them on Facebook just to join the group so they could be up to date, stay up to date with the latest news and notes from the entire league. Signing off. Have a great weekend. Thank you for tuning in as always.